Folks, don't learn this lesson the hard way. I'll tell you what I mean and then get into the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending September 11th, 2024. Many times I'll get a call from somebody that's asking me to help them buy a home. And this new buyer to me, anyways, will say, Santo, I want to buy a property. I want it to be a good investment though. And in conversation, I find out that it's not an investment per se where they're going to be renting it out and, a typical, what we would call an investment. This is going to be their principal residence. But they call it an investment because that's the mentality these days that, I'm going to buy this home. It's going to go up in value. It's an investment. It's a big purchase and their heart and soul and all their money's going into buying this home. And they've been saving up for years for a down payment. So yeah, it's an investment. If they're going to take hundreds of thousands into a down payment, they want to protect their nest egg and they want the values to go up. So we're talking about this and they are adamant. I want the value to go up. I want it to be in a good area and maybe I'll sell in a year or two. I say, whoa. Everything is sounding good right up until, and I want to sell in a year or two. Because those are the people that are in trouble today. They bought with the whole intention of selling in a year or two. The short-term exit strategy of buying real estate is really a gamble. And it didn't seem like that for many years. Lots of people purchased and 1, 2, 3 years, the values went up so much. They sold, made a profit, rinse and repeat. And they did the same thing for years. Until they didn't. And that's just not happening now. Some of these buyers will say, I want to buy, but I don't want values to go down. I don't want to buy and then within a few months values continue to drop. Well, how can I guarantee that? But especially those that are thinking, I may sell in a year or 2 or 3. I can't, it's so hard to guarantee that success. So I talk to them about, the people sitting, the homeowners today sitting with the most amount of equity are the ones that not necessarily bought 2 and 3 and 4 years ago. They're the ones that bought 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And they didn't buy necessarily with the intention of, I'm a savvy investor. This is the house that's going to earn me a ton of money. They bought according to what they could afford in an area they could afford or in an area that also made sense to them based on schools, based on work, whatever the situation was. And you'll find it doesn't matter which part of the GTA you're talking about. Anyone who purchased 10 years ago, 15 years ago, values are much higher today. Even in areas today, we would consider, that area is not so nice. That's a deep, depressed area. Values are not so high there. They're still higher than what they were 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I think it would help us all to get out of the attitude that everything we're doing, first of all, has got to be an investment. But if we are having that mentality, the basic rule is forget short term when it comes to real estate. If you want to hedge your bet that values are going to be better, if you want to do whatever you can in your favor, have the strategy of long term. Have the strategy that I'm going to get into this, I can afford it, and it doesn't matter if prices go down. I'm going to continue to pay my mortgages. I'm buying what I can afford, that's important, but I'm planning long term. You're planning to keep this home long term. Even if it is an investment, like a real investment where you're renting it out, it's those investors that are keeping their real estate portfolio, they're keeping their properties for a long time, years. They're the ones that are better off than the ones keeping it, renting it for a year and then planning to flip it. It works until it doesn't, but when it doesn't work, it really hurts. Long-term is better than short-term. If you think this video can help somebody you know, pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. There's a link to my calendar here. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, this show's about detached properties for the Peel and Durham region, but we have an awesome townhouse for sale. Check out the video at the end of this video. Here we go. Here's a quick summary. We're going to be looking at detached properties in Mississauga, Brampton, Durham region. For Durham, we're looking at Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as the Durham sample, but Mississauga, Brampton, and Durham. We're going to start off with Mississauga for week ending September 11th. And before I go further, let me just say the mindset here. The previous 2 weeks, 1 week was last week of August, which it's kind of headed into the Labor Day weekend. So things are a little bit funny sometimes when it comes to real estate data. And then the week after that is week ending September 4th. Right in the middle of that, it's a Labor Day weekend, so real estate data sometimes takes you for a loop. This week, week ending September 11th, is the first full week of September, and September is the start of our fall market, and there's lots of hopes for many people about the fall market. So let's see how we're starting here. For week ending September 11th, for Mississauga, for detached properties, 33 detached properties were sold. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Now, in a lot of areas, we saw a jump from September 4th to now, to week ending September 11th, a jump in sales. We're not seeing that in Mississauga, but we also didn't see a dip in sales. So 33, it's kind of about normal to what we've been selling for the week of August across Mississauga. Average sold price is $1,447,000, down a bit from where we were the previous few weeks, but kind of in line to where prices have been through most of August. 1,447 is 3% lower than this time a year ago. The median price is 2% higher. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. And you could see for July and August, prices coming down. Then mid-August, average and median prices kind of creeping up again. 33 were sold, 24% sold at list price or more. The real story is listings. Lots of sellers have come onto the market either for the first time or relisted for properties that weren't sold over the course of the summer. We do expect more listings. That's part of the increase in activity, and it's normal. It's seasonal. We see it every year. But the volume this year is just much larger. Last year, this time, we saw 72 new detached properties come onto the market over this period. This year, 119 have come onto the market over the same time. Active listings has gone up from 604 to 688 active listings. These are detached properties in Mississauga available for sale. Months of inventory, excuse me, has been climbing over the last few weeks. It's now sitting at 4.8 months of inventory, but that's what it was kind of the beginning of August. July jumped up. The beginning of July, we're sitting at 4.2. So I would say overall, months of inventory has been trending up, but not in a straight line. Here's Brampton. 54 detached properties were sold. 2 were at $2 million or more. Now 54, little bit higher than what we've been selling in the months of July and August. We've got to kind of go back to mid-June where we sold 56 in a week, and then end of May 58. So 54, a little bit higher than July and August sales. Average sold price is $1,174,000. For most of this year, since May or so, average sold prices have been trending down in Brampton. Now, I don't know if this is a trend yet, but we've seen average sold prices in August kind of bouncing up. They are down this week from the previous week, but we kind of need some more volume to see which direction is it actually going to be going now. We know it has been coming down. Has that stopped? And now, is it going the other way? Can't say for sure. Compared to last year, 1174 is 2% higher year over year. The median price is 5% higher. Here's where we see the dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. Prices were trending down. Now maybe they're starting to creep up again. 54 were sold. 22% sold at list price or more. Listings, we went from 141 listings to 225 listings. Active listings is up to 921. Months of inventory down from the previous week, but still at 3.9 months of inventory, pretty much almost in the middle of a balanced market. That's Brampton. Here's Durham. I remind you, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample and detached properties only. 38 detached properties were sold. One of those was at $2 million or more. Now 38, pretty much in line with what we've been doing in sales the last 3 weeks. Average sold price sitting at $1,091,000. Now the last 3 weeks, we've been kind of hovering somewhere just below 1.1 million. So $1,077,000, $1,097,000. This week, $1,091,000. Prior to these last 3 weeks, average sold prices were trending down. I'm not sure what's happening now, but we will know over the next couple of weeks. Compared to last year, $1,091,000, 8% lower year over year. The median price is also 8% lower. Slowly, gradually, prices have been trending down. 38 were sold, 34% sold at list price or more. Listings, previous week, 82 were listed. This week, week ending September 11th, 151 detached properties were listed. Months of inventory, compared to all sorts of other parts of the GTA, this is one of the lowest months of inventory at 2.8 months of inventory. Months of inventory has been creeping up over time. I've got 3 months on the board here. Average sold price trending down over the same period. So a quick summary, pretty much in most cases, you're going to experience a balanced market when it comes to detached properties. Sometimes it might be a slight seller's market, but pretty much a balanced market in most cases. Rare situations, depending on the neighborhood, might even be a buyer's market. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. You're about to see 29 Oleana Way in Brampton. This is a large 4-bedroom townhouse over 2,300 square feet, and it still has room for a large office. It's a modern home, and the lot, big lot, backs onto a forest. Have a look.